When my dad died, I thought the story was over. But 3 months later, his wife revealed a truth that turned his death into the beginning of something much worse. I've replayed that sentence in my head more times than I can count, and it still feels fake. Like something I read online and accidentally absorbed as my own memory. Sometimes I say it out loud just to check if it sounds real. It never quite does. It feels like I'm talking about someone else's life, someone else's family. But it's mine. I wake up in it every day. I'm 39, married, 2 kids who still leave fingerprints on the fridge no matter how many times we wipe it down. My dad, Gregory Hale, died last year. Cancer. The slow, dishonest kind. The kind that doesn't rush in and wreck everything at once, but lingers. It lets you believe there's time. Every few weeks, someone would say, "He's stable," or "The treatment's working better than expected." And you'd let yourself breathe again. You'd start planning. A birthday, a holiday, a future event you could anchor hope to. I remember my wife saying, "Maybe he'll be okay for a while," and me nodding, already imagining my dad sitting at our kitchen table again, complaining about the coffee. Then one morning, your phone rings before the sun's up, and your body reacts before your brain does. You know. You always know. After the funeral, life didn't snap back to normal. It just resumed. Slowly, awkwardly, like a car starting after stalling in traffic. My parents divorced when I was 12. It wasn't dramatic, no screaming matches or slammed doors, just a long, quiet erosion. Dinners eaten in silence, conversations that stayed shallow. Eventually, my mom packed boxes and moved to Kingston to start over. My dad stayed local. A few years later, he remarried Patricia. She came with a son, Evan, who was roughly my age. We never fought. We never bonded either. We existed in the same spaces without really touching each other's lives. Holidays were polite, birthdays were cordial. Conversations stayed safely in neutral territory. Work, weather, sports we barely followed. My dad wanted us to feel like a family. You could tell. He'd suggest group dinners, trips, shared traditions. But you can't force chemistry. The harder he tried, the more obvious the gap felt. Still, there was no tension, no resentment, just distance. When my dad died, the will didn't raise any alarms. The house went to Patricia. His savings were split between me and Evan. It wasn't a fortune, but it mattered. It meant college funds wouldn't be a constant worry. It meant emergencies wouldn't immediately become disasters. I didn't argue. I didn't feel entitled to more. I didn't even feel relieved. I just wanted the paperwork done so grief could stay grief, instead of mutating into conflict. For 3 months, that's how it stayed. Then Patricia texted me, "Can we talk? I found something." No emojis, just that. I stared at my phone longer than I needed to. I reread it over and over, trying to guess what something meant. Debt? A forgotten account? A mistake in the paperwork? My stomach dropped anyway. We met at a cafe near the lake, one of those places that tries to feel cozy but mostly smells like burnt coffee and damp jackets. Patricia was already there when I arrived. She still had her coat on. Her hands were wrapped tightly around a mug she hadn't touched. "Thanks for coming," she said. "You okay?" I asked, already knowing the answer. She nodded, then shook her head, then stared down into her coffee like it might give her instructions. "I don't really know how to say this," she said. I waited. My chest felt tight. There was this rising pressure, like waiting for a diagnosis. "I found something when I was going through Greg's accounts." "Okay," I said too fast, like speed could control what came next. She inhaled slowly, the way people do before jumping into cold water. "He has a daughter." I laughed. It was short and sharp and completely involuntary. "No," I said, "he doesn't." Patricia didn't flinch. She didn't argue. She didn't correct me. She just reached into her bag, pulled out her phone, unlocked it with trembling fingers, and slid it across the table. "Just look." I didn't touch it at first. My hands stayed in my lap. "I think you're mistaken," I said. "Or someone's confused, or—" "Please," she interrupted quietly. Not forceful, just tired. "Just look." I picked up the phone. The first photo hit me in the chest. A little girl on a swing. Curly hair caught mid-motion. a smile that felt uncomfortably familiar. Then another photo, a science fair ribbon, another smile, then one more. My dad standing slightly out of frame, his reflection caught in a window. The angle was wrong, but there was no mistaking him. I stopped. My mouth felt dry. That looks like him, Patricia said. I know. How old is she? I asked. 8, she said. She turned 8 in October. I did the math without meaning to. My stomach flipped hard enough to make me dizzy. That's not possible. Patricia let out a broken laugh. That's what I said too. She told me everything. The affair. A woman named Melissa. Someone my dad met through work conferences. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't brief. It lasted years. When Melissa got pregnant, my dad panicked. He didn't want to leave Patricia. He didn't want to destroy the life he'd built. So they made an agreement. No name on the birth certificate, monthly support payments, occasional visits disguised as work trips, total secrecy. Patricia found out 2 weeks after the funeral. She emailed him, Patricia said. She didn't know he was dead. Emailed him? I repeated, my brain lagging behind my ears. She asked what would happen now, Patricia said. About the arrangement. That word sat between us like something spoiled. I confronted her, Patricia said. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just asked. My fingers curled around the edge of the table. And? She told me everything, Patricia said. Showed me messages, transfers, photos. All this time? I asked. Yes. While he was married to you? Yes. The support payments stopped when my dad died. Melissa is struggling. She's asking Patricia to continue helping or to legally establish paternity so her daughter can claim part of the estate, which means reopening the will. She asked me what I thought we should do. I didn't answer. I couldn't. My thoughts were stacked on top of each other, none of them solid enough to stand on. On the drive home, my memories felt corrupted. Every good moment replayed with an asterisk. My dad teaching my son how to ride a bike, my dad holding my daughter at her birthday party, overlaid with photos of a life he never told us about. I didn't tell my wife Laura for 2 days. I went to work. I nodded in meetings. I laughed at jokes that barely registered. I came home and cooked dinner, helped with homework, read bedtime stories. Everything felt staged, like I was pretending to be myself. When I finally told her, she sat quietly on the couch while I paced. My dad had an affair, I said. Okay, she said carefully. And he had a kid. She blinked. A kid? A daughter. She's 8. Laura leaned back, absorbing it. Then she said softly, that little girl didn't ask for any of this. And neither did our kids, I snapped, immediately regretting it. Laura looked at me, really looked at me. I know, she said, I'm just saying, it's complicated. I reached out to Evan, told him we needed to talk. Didn't tell him why. You're not hiding something, are you? He asked. Not intentionally, I said. That's not reassuring. He agreed to meet. I could hear the suspicion in his voice. Patricia called me late one night. She might go to court, she said. If she does, everything becomes public. And? I asked, already bracing. And I don't think I can handle that, she said. I was wondering if you'd consider helping, financially, just quietly. She paused. She's a child, Patricia added, and Greg would have wanted… Don't, I cut in. Don't tell me what he would have wanted. I don't even know who he was. Silence stretched between us. I'm just asking, Patricia said. I need time, I said. Now I'm stuck. Every option feels like betrayal. Every decision costs something I can't afford to lose. If I help, my kids lose security. If I don't, a child grows up without support. If I tell Evan, everything explodes. If I stay quiet, it rots from the inside. And the worst part is the resentment, not toward the woman, toward the child. Not because she exists, but because her existence rewrites everything I thought I knew. I haven't met her. I don't know her name. I don't know if she misses my dad the way my kids do. I just know every option feels wrong. So I'm asking strangers instead of family. If you were me, would you protect your kids and let the fallout happen, or sacrifice stability to clean up a secret you didn't create?